All right, and now we will move on to Pistons NBA talk, and it's been a rough
Looking
start.
great. Looking
Yeah, it's
great.
been a rough start to the season, man. The Pistons are currently sitting at 1-6. We're the worst team in the NBA right now.
Which is completely fine.
Yeah,
We'll
it's a
take it.
long season, 72 game season this year.
As long as we're in the draft lottery, we get our first round pick this year, and I'm completely fine with that.
It's a long season. Hopefully we can improve. Unfortunately, we were just talking about this off air, but Killian Hayes is struggling. The number 7th overall pick in the draft, who a lot of people are really hyped about. I was hyped about him when we first got him, but it's not looking good. And we've discussed this before. He still is only 19. He still has to get used to the NBA speed. You can tell he has a chemistry with some of the players. Again, like I just said, we talked about this off air, and it seems like he is trying just maybe too hard to like try to fit in. Or
We were talking about that. I read somewhere that somebody said like it looks like Killian Hayes is just trying too hard to like do what Coach Casey wants and just try to like not playing his own like brand of basketball. Like he's trying too hard to be what they expect him to be. Which obviously, yes, you're supposed to listen to your coach and everything. All the good players play their brand of basketball. One thing I will say is honestly, I think Blake Griffin needs to be traded by the trade deadline.
yes, that is something.
Because this team just looks way better without him. He's just taking 3-pointers. That's all he does when he's out there. And like, yeah, he's a good leader, veteran, but I feel like we have D Rose, so we don't really need Blake Griffin. And there's gonna be teams that are like trying to make the playoff push and could use a power forward like Blake Griffin. And Blake Griffin has a player option after the season that is going to take up a lot of cap space, so we can get rid of him and then look to bring in other players next offseason. So right now, I would look to get rid of him.
Yeah, like you were just mentioning, Blake Griffin obviously would be the smart move, both cap-wise and to bring in either another young role player or to get a couple.
Even get a draft pick,
get an extra draft pick or two for this year or next year. But yeah, he's taking up too much time on the court. It's kind of feeling like the Andre Drummond thing where it seems like right now all he is doing is shooting threes. And aside from that one game where he made, I think, 8 in the game, he has not been looking good from threes. He can't play inside. It's just he's not the same player that he used to be after the injury last year. And it sucks because obviously it's Blake Griffin. He has played well for us over the year, but we just have too many good young players. Like, again, you just mentioned Jeremiah Grant, who has been our best player. He's averaging 23 points right now, and he's playing 36 minutes a game, almost the entire game. It just like give him more time, give Sekou Doumbouya more time.
And that's another thing is why I want Blake Griffin gone, because Sekou Doumbouya is not getting enough playing time.
Yeah, he's only averaging 13 minutes a game right now this season when Blake Griffin is averaging 31 minutes a game. It's like you just got to give the younger guys a little bit more chance to play and stop having Blake Griffin just clog up the paint. It's kind of reminded me of the Andre Drummond situation back before we ended up getting rid of him, where he would just kind of sit in the paint and clog it up all the time. So even though Blake Griffin, like I said, he tries to go out to the wing and shoot, but he can't anymore. It's just not his game style.
And on the bright side, Saddiq Bey is looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's a rookie, so he's still going to have his rookie pains. And last night's game, he definitely short-handed a couple 3-pointers and didn't look the best.
Yeah. Isaiah Stewart's been looking pretty good, too.
He brings that great energy off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not like a superstar that's going to go out there and score or anything, but he's there to rebound and hustle. And
yeah,
he's been talking to Ben Wallace. I see why, because he definitely could be our next Ben Wallace, an undersized center that is basically just there for defense and rebounding.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying he should get more minutes than Mason Plumlee, because Mason Plumlee is kind of like the rebounding machine out there. I think that's the main reason we have him out there, and kind of for the pick and rolls too. We use him a lot for that.
And we also love Mason Plumlee getting the ball at the top of the 3-point line, and then our guards cutting in and Mason Plumlee throwing a bounce pass to him.
Exactly, yeah. They keep doing like little pick and roll plays like that or swing around plays, but I just think, like you said, I think Isaiah Stewart needs to get a little bit more time. And again, we've talked about this before. I think as the season goes on, they're going to ease in the younger players, except for Killian Hayes, who ended up starting and he's only averaging 4.4 points per game, and he's playing 21 minutes a game.
Obviously, me and Jordan have talked about it in every sport. You can't look at a rookie's first season or second season and just automatically say they're a bust.
Yeah, we're not saying he's a bust. I'm just clearly saying that he's having struggles through his first couple weeks in the NBA.
Which is understandable. There was no...
Yeah.
It was the NBA draft, then you got 2 weeks of training camp, and then preseason games started in 2 weeks, and then boom, regular season.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've said it 100 times, he's only 19 years old, and he's still getting used to the speed of the NBA. I think you just got to give him another month or two, and he'll start to ease into it a little bit.
And also, if you guys have been watching, they just look fatigued out there. Like, these back-to-back games, like, they just look fatigued, and you can tell that they're not conditioned well.
I think
like the whole team, like even Mason Plumlee, like last night he hadn't been subbed out yet, and he had a wide open layup, and he just shorthanded the layup. Good. And like Killian Hayes took a jump shot, and Killian Hayes shorthanded it or shorted it. Like everyone just looks fatigued out there.
I think
like I don't know if Coach Casey isn't conditioning it well enough, or if it was just the short off season, they didn't have time to
I think
prepare.
It was just that, like, because most of these players have been off since March. You have to think about that too. And then when the bubble came back, obviously it wasn't all the teams, it was just the playoff teams and in contention playoff teams. So it's a lot of these players have been off for almost a year now, and like you said, they've had maybe a month or 2 months to condition, and you would expect as professional athletes that they would stay in shape. But again, playing a professional NBA game and just going for a jog down your street or running on the treadmill isn't the
I mean, players like Derrick Rose literally said he didn't pick up a basketball at all the entire time. He was more worried about his family and stuff,
exactly.
Which is completely understandable.
So that's probably another reason why a lot of these players which, like I said, obviously Jeremiah Grant and Mason Plumlee, they played in the bubble, and a couple of the other ones. But yeah, like the rookies, same thing. They haven't been playing college or professionally, well, we know Killian Hayes was and a little bit, but still, it's like most of these players haven't been playing seriously since March of last year, unless they were in the bubble at some point. But yeah, it's just they need a little bit more time to get used to it, and as they get more games under their belt, and probably, like I said, give it a month or 2 months, and I think they'll finally be a little bit more accustomed to game time. We just have to hope that we can actually win a couple of games and get into some type of contention, because we are the worst team in the NBA right now.
Hey, I'm fine with that. First pick, baby. Cade Cunningham.
Well, we'll see. So yeah, guess we'll see what happens tonight. Hopefully we can get a win. I doubt it against Giannis, especially in Milwaukee, but we'll see what happens. Anything else you want to mention, Dalton? All right. Well, again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.